BMRform.com and BMRodds.com, boys. What is going on? Welcome back. Episode number 111 of The Lobby. I want to apologize first and foremost if my video quality, my audio quality might not be the best. I'm not in my normal recording location. I'm back in Jersey visiting the family until Sunday morning. So I apologize for any mishaps during the filming of this show. But as always, we have Mr. Sam's in charge, not looking as stoned this week as he did last week. What's up, Sammy?
First off, Bobby, the video sadly is working well because we can see your big ass head directly right point center.
Beautiful. It's in 4K.
So, I had to say that. Secondly, I am high as balls right now. Had a couple blunts on the porch. Been a beautiful afternoon. Went golfing this morning. Shot an 87. My brother's in town from Virginia, so he's coming over for dinner tonight. So I'm enjoying the beautiful afternoon and the day off. So yeah, nice. I'm definitely high and ready to watch the Yankees tonight.
All right, well, very nice. You know, Sammy, I'm gonna have some tequila or something before one of these shows. I'm gonna get nice and drunk for you. I'll do one of these shows drunk out of my mind just for you, Sammy.
Yeah, I mean, we can get to that level. It'd have to be like a 10 o'clock show, and I'll be whiskeyed up. I can be ready to go.
Don, hey, what's up, buddy?
Hey, man, feeling good. It's the summer months. And by the way, next week is the bane of my existence. That's the All-Star break. It's the 1 week on the calendar. In my industry, I circle and be like, oh, good Lord, if we just make it through this, we will be just fine, and football season will be here. So I'm sitting here waiting, loving baseball day to day, and next week I will be hating life on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. The worst 4 days of my year every year.
Well, I mean, we do have the WNBA to look forward to. I'm 2-0 on my last two WNBA picks.
Wow.
Hopefully we'll pick another one tonight. We shall
Big
see.
upset today, too.
But Reload, what's up, buddy? I know you wanted to dive in a little bit of the WNBA. Let's start off with you. Let's give an introduction and then WNBA tonight. What do you like?
Yeah, WNBA's been good. It's a good time of year to be into the WNBA. Like Donnie said, baseball kind of cools off at the All-Star break. And it is time. The WNBA is on the board each of those days. And tonight, yes, there are some games. Before I get into tonight's, I will say I think Donnie touched on some of the upsets going on today. And, yeah, you know, this is what I call the morning sickness season of WNBA. I've called it this like every year. You could go back to old posts I made on EOG, even back before the SBR days. The morning sickness games. This is what the WNBA does is they schedule these weekday morning and afternoon games.
Right.
And they try to draw a lot of kids in from summer camps and things like that to watch. Yeah. And it gets real noisy and crazy. And yeah, just like Donnie said, you get upsets. You get the Connecticut Sun winning outright as 17-point underdogs. You get
crazy.
The Indiana Fever lost at home today. As 7-point favorites, even with Caitlin Clark playing and everything.
It's a surprise.
Golden State Valkyries just came right in and beat them. So you do get some more like unpredictable, crazier results in those games. It's always like that. There is another one tomorrow on the board with the LA Sparks and the Minnesota Lynx. So you might want to take a look at that one when the odds come out. As far as tonight goes, I'm going with the Dallas Wings. They're playing in Chicago against the Sky. Wings got blown out in Phoenix in their last game. I think it's a nice bounce back spot. The Sky, not really one of the best teams. They bring it once in a while, but I don't think they'll have much in them for this one.
All righty, Reload. Thank you, and good luck with that WNBA pick. Sammy, let's jump over to you, buddy. You know, I know you're on the Yankees tonight in baseball, but who else you got?
Well, you know, Yankees, first loss last week on a Thursday. I know Reload did have them losing, so he won. But Yankees, the first time losing on the show. I got to take them back next week. You know, it's a trend. Got to follow the trend. So I got to take Yankees back to back. Actually, they opened up yesterday with a big win over Seattle. Aaron Judge, obviously, pretty much already the lock favorite to win MVP. I also like the Mets over Baltimore and the Cardinals over the Nets.
All righty. Thank you, Sammy. Donnie, over to you. MLB, what do you got?
Yeah, watching little Phillies this afternoon. I thought the Phillies would win this game. They're up 2-0, but the team total was 4.5. And the way the Phillies were, you know, not reacting at the plate the past couple of days. I'm like, I think they win, but I didn't actually bet it. And I got a little bit gun shy on the 4.5, which means I had to get 5. So I'm just keeping eyes on this one. But later today, a couple good shots here. Sugano is on the mound for the Baltimore Orioles. He's been bad this year. And I think those Mets bats have woken up. A team total to the over for them makes some sense in that 4.5 range. You also take a look at Boston, who I don't know what Colorado's MO is this year in baseball. They're going to get crushed every single night. They've been getting torched in Boston. And tonight, it's going to continue again. I have Senzatella as the worst pitcher on my card today. They should absolutely light him up. Their team total, though, of 5.5. So you need 6 runs to cash that ticket. But to be honest, they probably get that. A couple other games a little bit later tonight. I do like the run line here for Kansas City with Bubic on the mound. Pittsburgh can't score. So if they get 3 runs, it's massive. And I just look at Kansas City. I believe they'll be able to play 3+ runs against Pittsburgh. That should be good enough for the run line to knock that side down like a -195 to a plus money in your favor. And then a little bit later on tonight, San Diego and Arizona. Brandon Pfaadt has been brutal this year. Dylan Cease on the mound. I'll lay it. The 135s are all gone from this morning. They range anywhere between 155 to 160 in that range. And I still think it's worth value to take the Padres tonight. So some pretty good baseball action on the diamond here.
All righty, Donnie. Thank you. Reload, last but not least, MLB on deck. What do you got?
Yeah, it's a decent Wednesday night card. I as Sammy mentioned, I did win last week with the Blue Jays as home dogs there, and I'm sticking with another home dog tonight, the Los Angeles Angels. It was on the board earlier at +115 when I grabbed it. It's down to just +102, so the reload steam is in order here, driving the odds down a little. Still a good play though. Angels opened the series with a 6-5 win, but they got shelled last night, 13-1 loss. So they should be really looking to bounce back tonight. They are 4-2 in their last 6 as a home dog. And Kyle Hendricks on the mound. He hasn't recorded a loss since May, I think. And he notched wins in his last 2 home decisions. Rocker's on the mound for Texas. His whips have been worse on the road than at home. He's also logged 3 losses in his last 4 road decisions. So I'm going to go with the Angels as a short dog at home.
All righty, Reload. Thank you, and good luck with those. Guys, do you remember back in the day getting these, the calendars from the sports books? Yep. This is Bet US behind the scenes DVD of making the calendar. Amazing. I want to say, like I said, 2009, 2010. I remember getting the football calendars every year from Don Best, sportsbook.com. Yeah. Sammy, what was your best, gift that you got from a sports book?
From a sports book, I never got the calendars from Bookmaker. I used to get the just like the day by day, the schedule, and like you could handwrite in all the results and everything. So maybe you could track it that way when there was less internet stuff, like you say, back in 2008, 2009. I'd say my best gifts actually came from poker, from playing like Poker Stars and Party Poker, getting the hats. I actually
Poker Star,
yeah. My main backpack is still a Poker Stars backpack from like 2008 and stuff. So yeah, I would say some of my best gifts were not from the sports book, were from actually poker books.
Donnie, what about you, buddy?
Yeah, no, I was sportsbook.com for the longest time. They would send like me a 6-pack of beer, like the promotional beers that are wrapped in like sportsbook.com stuff. I used to get hoodies and hats from them. Like they really, unless you're doing like a local, the only game in town, I can't imagine the numbers they used to do actually back in the day, but they were decent with giving away stuff where you just show up at your house one day, you got like a FedEx present from them. They were pretty good with that. But I do remember the calendars, but also those real thick books like Sammy's talking about, where it's like every single game, the previews for the season, and hey, get a reload bonus if you sign up on this. So we used to always remember those coming quite a bit.
Reload, what about you?
Oh yeah, I had all kinds of direct marketing from all the sports books. Sportsbooks.com is a good one to mention there. I had a lot from them. They sent me a backpack once from the North Face. They sent me poker chip sets. They sent me they invited me to a big party with Brooke Burke in New York City. It was awesome. I went to that. As far as calendars, I got calendars like the one I remember the most is from the Pig, which was not around long. They were around a few years. They were a sister book of Legends, if you remember that one. Yeah, it was a good place to play. They sent out calendars every year. I did get a lot of the schedule books too. The one that the Greeks sent out every month, and I did get quite a few from other sports books with ads on them and everything. But I like getting the schedule books, and I still like using sheets for schedules to write on and everything. So I'm still into that.
And sports books nowadays should take note. I mean, here it is 2025, and we're talking about things that we got in 2009, 2010 from these books 15 years ago. I mean, Heritage, Bet Online, there's places like that. They should be taking note. They should be sending. I haven't gotten anything from any of these places lately, Sam.
Nope.
Reload, Donnie, nothing.
Yeah,
No, just phone calls and emails. Yeah, phone calls and emails. Hey, reload today.
Yep.
Yeah, I've gotten a few things, but it's tapered off. Like it seems like it was better. I've gotten I think I've got a hoodie from FanDuel. I've got well, I have to give DraftKings some credit. They did send me iPhone and an iPad, so those are probably the nicest.
Yeah.
This phone right here is iPhone 18. Well, you probably can't see it on
green screened out.
Yeah. Well, that's
camo.
That's yeah, that maybe I should bring that phone back. But iPhone 18 Pro. A couple years ago, I think it was a 16 Pro too. So so it's around. You just have to kind of play enough to get that kind of stuff and try to work the system a little bit. Work if they've got a point system or anything like that. Sometimes you'll get mails, pick a gift out of this list kind of thing. But I do miss the old days of direct marketing with the offshore sports books. There was kind of no better feeling than that. Like when something would show up, it was great.
Exactly. But one thing you don't want to happen to you guys, you don't want to get scammed. I read an article earlier today. Dallas Turner of the Vikings was scammed for $240,000. Apparently, Chase Bank, supposedly, I mean, we all know it's a scam, but Chase Bank called him and instructed him to go and withdraw money and send it to an account. Thankfully, it looks like some people actually they found one of the suspects, but only 1% of the money, around $2,500, was recovered. I mean, you have all this money, you'd think you would have a little more common sense about it. But I could say the same thing. Unfortunately, I was scammed by a well-known poster here across the street, but he's also over here as well, here at BMR. He basically sent me a check and asked me to cash it and then send him an amount back. And, all in all, it was a scam, unfortunately. But I learned my lesson. But the reason I bring that all up, Sammy, let's dive into it. Sam, have you ever been scammed? Or in the car salesman business, have you ever, scammed anyone?
Yeah, shout out Brock Landers. And we're going to name names here. So shout out Brock Landers for fucking over Bobby. In reference to me on the forum, when I started here when I was 18, 19, 20, I don't know if you remember the famous T Soprano.
Yes. I bet with T Soprano for a bit. I never got paid, unfortunately. I don't know if you guys know the backstory, but
a lot of us young guys didn't get paid.
It was actually really crazy. I was, I never got paid. I was betting with the guy stupidly. I never gave any credit. He wanted to give me credit. Never got credit. Always posted up, which is a smart thing to do, guys. You don't want to get stuck.
Yeah, he was like running his own betting and his own book with people, right? Yeah. I don't remember much, but I remember when it was going on. I remember the end of it. I remember, I think, more than anything else.
But again, you don't want to rack up a debt with anybody. But anyway, the point of it was I was betting, I was winning. I went to cash out. He asked me, I guess he didn't have any money or whatever the case was at the time. He's like, can you go and get players for me? And it was just, it was a whole circus. And, unfortunately, I ended up not getting paid. And it was a mess. But, a lesson learned. Always play with reputable books, Heritage, Bet Online, reputable offshore sports books. But Sammy, I'm sorry to cut you off. I got on a little tangent there. Go on. You were talking about T Soprano.
Yeah, I mean, you were in the same thing with me, and then, the weeks that you win, you don't get paid. Then like the weeks that you lose, he's like, you got to pay me. It's like, well, wait, if you're matching the last 2 weeks, then this one,
Right.
it's like the math doesn't make sense. But,
The math
18,
is not
19
math.
years old and, get taken advantage of. Yeah. My eBay account, he used that to sell some fake watches.
Really?
Yeah. So my
Wow.
eBay, so on my eBay, we sold some fake watches, and then I got some bad reviews and had to pay that back. So that was fun. But yeah, you live, you learn, and shit
Yep.
happens. And luckily, I didn't get arrested or go to jail. Just lost some money. But you live, you learn, right?
Yep, exactly. Reload, over to you. Scams.
Well, I'm trying to think back. A lot of years on these forums and everything. I can't remember personally being scammed by anybody. I guess it's because I was mostly spent most of my time as a moderator and a writer on these forums, so they probably didn't want to mess with me too much because
Right.
they'd be outed right away, of course. But yeah, I did. I guess it's just I heard about a lot of different scams and letdowns that went on out there, and yeah, it's unfortunate. You got to be careful. And some of these stories. Wow, T. Soprano. Yeah, I remember that whole thing. I remember some others. Posting back and forth, owed each other money and all that. And wow, we haven't had a lot of drama lately, though. I mean, wow, it seems like it's just been years since a lot of that.
Well, that's nothing necessarily wrong with that. Donnie, over to you.
Yeah, gambling wise or that, nothing from me, but just maybe in the past, like going on a cruise ship where somebody was stealing my, credit card and running it up and buying surfboards in like
Oh,
New
wow.
Zealand. I actually just about 2 weeks ago, somebody took my debit card information because I have a checking account, a savings account, but I have my own separate gambling account. So I
Right.
went in to make a deposit for gambling. It's like, oh, decline the credit card. Must have hit the wrong thing. Did it again. Must have declined it. Went in, and that very same morning, there was about 15 charges at just below like $100 a pop to stay under the radar, like $88, $87, $86, $91. So
Wow.
that was about 2 weeks ago and was a pain in the ass. But
Oh, wow.
from like posting up and stuff, never had that. But getting my identity taken, basically, I've had that a few times here. It sucks.
You know what? It's unfortunate. You mentioned identity theft. My wife got it really bad. Someone called our cell phone provider, pretended to be her. Somehow they were able to get into her. So they changed her cell phone number. They got into her PayPal. They got into our Zelle. It was a nightmare. She actually ended up having to put a freeze on her credit and get a new cell phone number. It was a nightmare trying to resolve it. But, unfortunately, back in the day, Sam, 15, 20 years ago, you didn't have all of this because you didn't have the technology that you do nowadays. You can go online and get, a bunch of data on people. And then it's a shame. It really is. I've been going onto Google lately, and I've been requesting a lot of my data to be removed from Google searches. I can Google my name, my phone number, my address, all this shit will show up, and I don't want them on there.
Yeah. I mean, Google's a scary thing, but you know what? We put the information out there, so they're going to allow it to use it. So
they're going to aggregate it.
One of those. Did you read the terms and conditions? You know what? It's Facebook. I mean, I chose to post myself, and I chose to post my scorecard. I mean, so I'm choosing to put it out there. So if someone wants to find it, then I'm allowing them to find it. Just don't put whatever you don't want out there.
But the problem is, Sam, as soon as you sign
remember phone books? Remember in the 90s phone books? Everyone's name and address was right there. All you had to do was flip through the yellow pages, right?
You're right.
Everyone's name and phone number was right there. So it's kind of not different. It's just more accessible. That's the only difference.
Yeah.
You're right. And the problem is you can't, what are you not going to sign up for anything? Everybody asks for your information nowadays. You might as well just not be on the internet. You might as well not have a phone. You might as well not do anything because everyone is asking for your data.
Yeah, I mean, there are people under the radar, but those people have the wealth or the ability to do that, and good for them. And whatever. I mean, but for most people, they rely on the internet or they rely on their phone for two-way authenticator, right? I can't get onto, I work in finance, so I can't get onto my dealer track, which is where I pull credit, where I submit it to banks, where I, go through my systems and stuff like that. Everything is a two-way authenticator. I need a separate app for it. They send you a text password every day. It's only good for 10 hours. So, I mean, every day you're logging in and then every 3 months you're changing your password. Can't be the same password. So, I mean,
I hate that.
so yeah, I mean, we can all experience that. So, our data is out there, but there's much more security to try to attempt, but scammers are scammers. That's what they do. So, the 40, 50 hours a week that we spend doing our job being professionals, well, they spend 70 hours a week being professionals at being scumbags.
Basically. Sammy, while I got you on here, let's talk some tennis. Let's talk some Wimbledon.
Oh, yeah.
How you doing? And what's the threat looking like? What's the
tennis has been awesome. After the first week of chaos and the most upsets in that first round and the second round, it's pretty much gone to form. The men's semifinal is the same three as everyone can expect. It's Jannik Sinner, it's Novak Djokovic, it's Carlos Alcaraz, and then it's the fourth best player, which on grass is Taylor Fritz, American. Going to be a rematch of the U.S. Open final where Alcaraz beat him. I expect Alcaraz to win. I'm going to take him in at least 4. The other one is Sinner versus Djokovic, which is a rematch of the French Open semifinals. Sinner's won 3 straight against Djokovic. Obviously, Djokovic is the GOAT. Don't really have any much to say on that. But Sinner, going first Grand Slam after losing the French Open finals to Sinner. To Alcaraz. Alcaraz is a 2-time defending champion, beaten Djokovic both times. So both of them are going to be great matches. And then on the women's side, you got Sabalenka and Iga Swiatek, who are both in the semifinals. And for all 3 majors, they've both been on opposite sides of the draw. Iga has lost in both semifinals, and the woman that beat her has beaten Sabalenka in the finals. So that was Madison Keys in the Australian Open, and it was Coco Gauff in the French Open. So we'll see what happens this time. Sabalenka goes up against American Anisimova, who they're both power hitters. So they're both going to be crushing the ball. So that's going to be a really exciting match. I'm going to be taking the over in that match. And then Iga is going up against Belinda Bencic, who's in the first year back off of having her first baby. So it's awesome that she's back and competitive in the semifinals. This is Iga's actual first semifinals on grass. And ironic, it could be the first title for her if she wins it in over a year, and it's going to be on grass, her worst surface, compared to clay, her best surface. But I have Iga futures and a parlay with Alcaraz. I got $50 to win just under 1,100. So I'm rooting for Iga and I'm rooting for Alcaraz, and we'll see what happens over the next couple of days. Wimbledon, I've had a great last couple of days. I'm 42-30 for the last couple of weeks, basically up 10 units. And then on the year, I was on a losing streak, but I just crashed past the minus plus, and I'm plus 1.5 on the year.
Yeah.
Alrighty, awesome. Thank you, Sammy, and good luck. Donnie, let's jump over to you. I know you touched on it briefly before, but you're not looking forward to it. Let's talk some All-Star Game and Home Run Derby. You got anything?
No, not yet on Home Run Derby, because we don't really even know the participants, people pulling out. Is Acuna even going to be in it? Late guys added here. It's one of those where I used to get excited because, Pete would be in there, Pete Alonso. You would have, Aaron Judge in it. You'd have, back in the days with Gary Sanchez, Giancarlo Stanton, the big boy hammers that used to always show up. Now, Cal Raleigh's a fun name, but until I see the participants and what we're actually going through, because year to year, it seems like they change the actual rules, which I haven't read up on this year. So I'll sit back and factor it in. But for his energy for the All-Star Game, I'm low this year, man. Usually get fired up by a couple big-time home run hitters in the contest, and we don't really have that this year. So I'm going to be sitting back waiting to see. By the way, Jose Ramirez, who's a starter in the All-Star Game, just told the All-Star Game, I'm going to skip this for rest and rehabilitation, even though he's not even hurt. So it tells you a little about the players think about the All-Star Game, too.
Right. Reload, over to you. All-Star Game. What do you got? You been looking at
nothing. Yeah, I won't be betting anything All-Star Game or the Home Run Derby. I like to watch it, see what goes on. But it's mostly just a rest. We kind of just recharge ourselves a little bit. Yeah, bet a little WNBA, maybe start to get ready for football a little bit. But, the All-Star Game, I got to say, it's been downhill for a lot of years. I remember the one I always remember was the one in Fenway Park with Pedro Martinez pitching, and he strikes all the guys out, and he's on fire. And then Mark McGuire in the Home Run Derby hitting home runs over the monster and everything. I mean, boy, that was really a great All-Star Game. That's the one I still think back to.
Sammy, last but not least, anything?
Yeah, I mean, the Home Run Derby is still a better product than anything the NBA can produce. So even if they're not trying it, even if they're not the star power as it used to be, it's still a better product. It is worth watching because, again, there is nothing to watch. So are you just going to watch a movie on Netflix, or are you just going to be a degenerate and at least throw something on a TV just to say he's got it on? They're finding ways to keep it to competitive, but then they're finding ways to not make it competitive. It's like, which way do you want to go? Because Donnie and Reload are right. It was much better 15 years ago. And it seems like the more star power these guys have, the less they want to represent themselves in the biggest star power moment of the season.
Right. Exactly. Well, speaking of star power moments, guys, we have poker coming up, our last and final poker event, Tournament of Champions. I will be announcing it this weekend. The tournament will take place sometime next week. Be on the lookout for a private message from me. If you do believe that you are invited to join, I'm going to be sending out a group mass private message with more information about the final tournaments. If you have any questions, feel free and reach out to me. But you guys have a great rest of the week.
Mhm.
Good luck on all your action, and we will see you guys on the forum.
See ya.
All right.